On this week's Tuesday Talk, we are talking about planning vacations when we don't bring the Airstream, which has been happening a couple times this year, unlike last year. We went to Long Island, which was a little bit unexpected, and then we'll be going to Orlando for a conference here in a few weeks, and we'll have to leave the Airstream and the girls behind for that one as well.
In some ways it's easier, in some ways it's not, because we don't have all our stuff with us, which increases the possibility that we'll forget something.
Yeah, we got a little spoiled traveling with our Airstream. We have everything we need all the time, whereas when you travel on an airplane, you have to only have what you bring. But I think the thing that makes it so much harder now is the fact that we do have the Airstream and the dogs, and we're often not in places where we have the support structure to take care of those things. So like if you leave your house to go on vacation, in general, your house is fine where it is.
You would hope so.
Yeah. And when we lived in Tucson, if we needed to leave the dogs to go on vacation, we had family and friends that we could leave them with, people we trusted. And when we're somewhere we've never been before, we don't have a place to leave the Airstream necessarily, and we definitely don't have anybody we know to leave the dogs with.
We have no family and no friends.
No. So what do? For Seattle, because that was more last minute, we found a campground that had a really good full hookup rate for being Airstream WBCCI members. So we knew we could have the Airstream hooked up and secure in a spot for the whole time we were gone. The harder part was finding someone to watch the dogs. And we tried Rover. That's actually where we found our dog sitter, rover.com. And I was looking for someone that I would take the dogs to their house and they would stay there. That did not work, unfortunately, in Seattle. But we did find Rebecca, who was awesome, who came and stayed in the Airstream. But that was a little stressful. And in Sacramento, that one we had planned earlier. We knew we were going to fly to Orlando for this conference in September. So we decided if we're going to have to put the Airstream somewhere, why not get it fixed? So we're going to Sacramento because that's where Vinny's is.
Our Airstream's broken.
And yeah, it just kind of hurt his bottom when we bottomed out last year.
Our Airstream's rear end is a little bit saggy.
It's not even that, but yeah, there's a few cracks and a few things that could be fixed. So we're dropping the Airstream off at Vinny's Airstream Repair while we go, because might as well give him time without us living in it to get things repaired. So we don't even have to necessarily pay to have our Airstream stored. We're just paying to get it fixed. And as for the girls, we are still looking for a dog sitter in Sacramento area, again using Rover. So I think the girls is the hardest part, the dogs. That's the hardest part for me.
Oh yeah, they're living objects. I mean, the Airstream, we could leave this at any campground, anywhere. It's simple. It's stupid simple. But with the dogs, you can't necessarily do that.
Yeah. And we could choose to leave the Airstream in like a storage facility instead of getting hookups. We got hookups in Seattle because we knew Rebecca was going to stay in the Airstream. Otherwise, we were just going to store it at that campground. So storage is also an option and normally cheaper than getting a regular camp spot. But a regular camp spot works fine too most of the time. So that's what goes into trying to plan a trip when you travel full time. Different kind of trip planning than what we normally do. One that involves flying and leaving all of our stuff and our dogs and everything like that. So we had a few people ask us about that, so I wanted to talk about that. And yeah, if you have a question for a future Tuesday Talk, please leave it in the comments below, and we'll get to it in a future video. Hopefully you like this video, and we'll see you next time.
Well, we're such amateurs.
See you next time, guys. Bye.